Good morning, everybody. As some of you may know, there are all sorts of cool new spellcasting options available for easy leveling because of the most recent patch, which buffed pretty much every spellcaster in the entire game. I'm going to do a series where I build up every single spellcaster as a first life character with no tomes or anything else like that to really see how it fares and how much better it is than it used to be. And since that is taking place, I decided to put it to chat and ask Twitch chat which one I should do first. They voted for Bard, and I thought that's a great idea. I always loved Spellsingers because they're super fun. They're really good at crowd controlling monsters, dealing damage, supporting their allies, and just honestly having a very cool aesthetic. I love the shouting. I love the fact that you can stun pretty much everything with most of your spells, the sound bursts, the reverberate, the sonic blast. And given that now a lot of those spells do a real amount of damage, it actually feels pretty great. Now, of course, when you want to test something, you want to make sure that you're doing the absolute best you can to be as rigorous as possible to ensure that you are getting real good data. And so I decided to actually ask my chat which race I should play. Now, of course, I thought they would pick one of the charisma races, Drow, Dragonborn, but no, they voted for half-orc. So I'm going to introduce you to me sing songs, Bard, my half-orc Spellsinger. Now, the upside of playing half-orc is that they do look pretty cool, and they have a good running animation. The downside is I have a minus to my charisma, and the racial tree doesn't assist me in any capacity whatsoever. As a result, this is actually a pretty good test for how good Bard is going to be. Considering the fact that I don't get any bonuses whatsoever to my actual spellcasting stats, it means everything needs to be carried off the class itself. In fact, I'm playing with a bit of a handicap, having a -2 to charisma. So the real question becomes, can Bard be successful even with having this type of minus? Can you still play a spellcaster bard without worrying about needing too many points of charisma? And the answer to that question is yes. Spellcaster bard feels fantastic. Of course, level 1 and 2 happen to be a little slow, just like any spellcaster, but hitting level 3, having access to 2 sonic blasts, and soon a shout by using the Spellsinger tree, holy moly, do you get a lot of AoE damage. The important thing about this character is that you really don't have any single target damage to speak of, because all your spells are AoE. Sure, Reverberate is technically single target, but it takes a long time for that damage to go out. Instead, you have Sonic Blast, an AoE spell, Sonic Blast, the spell-like ability, and Shout, the spell-like ability, as well as Shout the spell for the early game. All area of effect. As a result of this, your clearing speed is fantastic, and you absolutely crush breakables, destroying breakables everywhere you go, since Sonic Blast is one of the best breakable breaking spells, and on top of that, dealing a really high amount of sonic damage to all nearby enemies. It's great. Even better, most of the time, when you actually use a sonic spell on a monster, then making the save prevents them from becoming dazed, and usually actually doesn't decrease the amount of damage that you deal, such as the case of Sonic Blast. As a result, even when monsters make their saves, you're still able to deal a large amount of damage and sustain yourself. So if you're playing a character like mine where the DCs aren't going to be quite as high, you can still be pretty successful. That, and also, I'm so supportive for the rest of the group. Having access to the different songs that reduce the spell cost of my allies, as well as giving them mana in return through the Spell Song Vigor effect, and also returning their health through the Healing Song, this character gets a huge amount of utility and also is a really easy solo. It's so easy, in fact, that at some point someone suggested I start doing quests on Reaper mode. So around level 4, we just swapped fully into Reaper mode, and yeah, I haven't stopped since. There's been 1 or 2 quests I've had to drop down the difficulty to Elite, but this first life half-orc bard has been cruising through Reaper mode, picking up points and having really no trouble. So if you'd like to know exactly how I did that, you can always check out the live stream at twitch.tv/Strimtom to find out the best ways to maximize your characters and different minute ways to plays, helpful pieces of information about the class itself as I'm going through it, or you can stay tuned while I pass it over to me, who will explain to you exactly how to build this character as I did.
Now, if you would like to sing songs and destroy all of your enemies, do I have the build for you. A Spellsinger bard that just absolutely obliterates all content, even without the best stats. That's right, today I'm bringing you the Me Sing Songs Bard, half-orc Bard Spellsinger. Now, Bard Spellsinger is a spellcaster that skills pretty much exclusively off of charisma. You might ask yourself, why would you play a character that skills pretty much exclusively off of charisma if you're also playing as a half-orc who starts with a -2? That's a great question. The answer to that question is I put up a vote for Twitch to tell me what I should actually play, and they voted for half-orc because they thought it was funny. But joke's on them, it turns out Bard is actually so powerful that it doesn't matter that I'm a half-orc with a minus to my charisma, I'm still able to solo my way through Reaper mode on a first life Spellsinger bard pretty easily. Let me show you exactly how I built it. This character, being a half-orc, gains a little bit of bonus strength for free, so I put like pretty much all my points into Constitution, I put a few points into Intelligence just so I had some skills, and then the rest of the points went into Charisma. I didn't put any points into Wisdom or Dexterity on this character. As far as the actual skills went, I took a whole bunch of different stuff. The main things: use magic device, spellcraft, perform, jump, diplomacy. These are the main ones. I also took intimidate, and I also started taking tumble as well. I was initially putting points into concentration, but that's a mistake. You don't actually need concentration, so I don't know why I was doing this, but there we are. The reason why you actually want to put intimidate is really weird. You don't think you need this as a bard, but I'll explain why in just a minute. As far as the feats go, your first two feats are going to be the metamagic feats, Maximize and Quicken. I take Maximize first because you get Sonic Blast at level 1, which you can then maximize for a lot of extra damage. And then Quicken spell just helps you quicken all of your spell-like abilities, of which you get many. Following up after that, then you're going to want to build into some of the spellcasting feats. For this character, you have to make sure you take Spell Focus Evocation, because you need Evocation DCs, and you'll also need this for epics. I also decided to take Spell Focus Enchantment at level 12, since I start getting access to some of the better enchantment spells, like Auto Sphere of Dancing and Mass Hold Monster. And then I took Mental Toughness, because Mental Toughness gives me more spell points, and as a half-orc bard, I don't have a lot of spell points, so this was actually essential. I think I'm going to take more things for spell points going forward, like improved Mental Toughness, and probably greater Spell Focus Evocation, but we'll see how that goes as we continue up. As far as the spells went, I haven't swapped out any spells. I started with Sonic Blast, so I could have 2 Sonic Blasts at level 1. Then I grabbed Expeditious Retreat, so I could move fast. And then, pretty much at that point, I grabbed whatever the Sonic damage spell was, and then also another spell. So, when I got to level 2, I grabbed Sound Burst, and then also Cure Moderate, because it helped me out. And then I grabbed Blur after that. I got to the level 3 spells. There's no Sonic damage spells, so I just grabbed Good Hope and Cure, because that seemed more important at the time. The level 4 spells, once I got the opportunity, I grabbed Shout and Dimension Door, because Cure Serious was good enough, but now I'm starting to use Cure Critical. And then I also make sure to grab Auto Sphere of Dancing. And then, of course, once you get to level 5, you grab Greater Heroism as your first spell, and then Hold Monster Count comes from the actual Bard Enhancement tree. And that's one of the things I want to talk about here, is the Enhancement tree. So, one of the reasons why I said I'm taking Intimidate is actually because, as a half-orc, I get access to Lock Bash, where I can pick a lock, making an Intimidate check. It says it uses your Strength modifier. It doesn't. It's just an Intimidate check. It means this character can actually open locks pretty much flawlessly, thanks to all the skills that I get for being a bard, how many bonus skills I can give myself as like a competence bonus. I think I got an extra +8 right now, soon to be a +10 once I get Song of Heroism going for an extra +2, so it should be pretty good. Oh, does that not do skills? Apparently that doesn't do skills, so +8 to all skills though for myself, Greater Heroism, and also my Inspire Competence. This character has enough skills you can Lock Bash your way through anything you want. On top of that, you make sure you take all the points in Spellsinger. All these things are pretty essential. Grabbing yourself your Melody, Song Trance, all the good song buffing abilities. Grabbing Horn of Thunder, spell-like ability, Shout. That way you can actually deal some damage. Sonic Blast does a lot of damage. Right now my Sonic Blast is hitting for about 300 at level 13, which is pretty good. So your damage is actually very sustainable, very easy. And on top of that, because it's like an AoE stun, if there's a bunch of Reapers in a room, a bunch of regular monsters, it really doesn't matter what it is. As long as you use Sonic Blast, you stop everything from moving, which is fantastic. So that's kind of how I started with the points. I went all in on Spellsinger for the most part. However, there is one exception, which is basically I got access to magical studies right here. From the magical training, and then after that I did grab the illusory weapon from Fey Dark Illusionist tree for the first level or so. You don't actually need to take this if you don't want to. It was just nice to have a weapon to beat things down, to make stuff a little bit faster. I played this character as if it was brand new, so starting with no gold, no items, I didn't transfer a single thing. I'm only using equipment that I picked up during my adventure, and it was very difficult to buy a hireling when I had no gold. I didn't have any resonant spell power, so having a weapon that scaled for me was very nice. But the absolute second you get Shout, spell-like ability at level 3, you no longer need Fey Dark Illusionist, so I would say that you probably don't even need it at all. I would just stick with Spellsinger and put your points in here, and then if you can spare some, if you decide to play half-orc, you can take Lock Bash, but I don't recommend you play half-orc. Play any of the other races. All of them are better, except for this one. Human's better, Drow is better, Dragonborn is better, everything is better than half-orc, so there's a lot of better options. But yeah, I take all the essential defensive stuff in the tree and get all the damage. And then on top of that, we got the War Chanter tree just down here. War Chanter, I'm planning on putting the rest of my points for the most part. I will be putting a few points in to get fast movement out of the Swashbuckler tree, but I'll do that later. For the most part, I want to get this ability right here, Fighting Spirit, which says your Inspired Greatness now uses your Charisma score for its temporary HP. So right now, Inspired Greatness is doing 20. Right now, it'll start doing 30 if I actually have that ability, and then once I get into Epics, it'll give out 60 temporary hit points every 10 seconds, which is not too bad. It's just a passive aura that keeps myself and everybody else alive. On top of that, you also get a bunch of health and defensive stats out of the tree. 10 extra health here, 10 extra, I believe another 10 extra health here, grabbing the extra bard songs here, the extra attack, you increase defense from rough and ready. So it's a pretty good tree to go into, and you pick up some extra charisma, so that's why I do this. Anyways, that's pretty much it. That's how we did the half-orc. I mean, items are not really spectacular. I did Feywild Reaper 1 with this character. Most of it was solo, and I had no problem with Feywild Reaper 1. I'm using the Garb of Spring Winds, which is the level 5 cloth, which is not very good for this character, but I haven't found any armor, so what are you going to do? You got to use what you got. I think this is keep on the Borderland stuff. Oh, no, this is from the the Gatekeepers quest, level 3 Gatekeepers quests. Loka Autumn, again, more Feywild stuff. Level 3 Gatekeepers thing for Smokescreen. I actually cast Blur, so I don't need this. Again, more Feywild stuff. This level 5 Sheltering Helmet. Ooh, that Sheltering keeps me alive, but I actually don't need it, because I think, yeah, I have these level 11 Dodge 6 Sheltering 12 boots, so I don't need this helmet. Now that I think about it, good job for reviewing. Yeah. The only 2 items, or not even 2 items, the only item that I would say that I have that is really nice is I did the anniversary event to pick up the Clamorous Forum Post, which is a sonic damage item. It's got Resonance, Sonic Lore, Insightful Evocation, and Wizardry. You can't use this every time if you're playing a build like this, but you don't honestly need this if you're doing any type of Kenneth crafting, or if you just have enough gold to buy something on the auction house, or if you get one of the many Sonic items that exist out there, you can replace this. But since the anniversary is going on right now, I farmed out the anniversary and picked up one of these 20 favors for level 10, which, if you're doing it, do the anniversary 3 levels over what your level currently is, and go in there, and you should have an easy time kind of taking out most of the monsters. And if you do 5 stars twice, that's 20 favors. So only 2 runs, and you can have yourself one of these for level 10. Probably not going to replace it, unless I manage to pick up, like, the Lilting Song. But I don't think I'm going to pick up the Lilting Song. Anyways, that's pretty much it. That's the character. You want to play it, this is kind of how you do it. I'll have a full build guide once I'm done and kind of reviewing everything. But so far, it has been an absolute breeze and a joy to play, and I've been loving it. Absolutely loving it. I'm so excited. In fact, I'm probably going to play some more Spellsinger when Hardcore League starts up, so you might see a return of Taylor Swift, the Bard, and probably a full Spellsinger guide for that. Who knows? Maybe even going all the way up to level 30 and doing the Reaper, the full Reaper. I'm not sure yet, but this character has been a delight to play. Basically immune to Reapers because of how much crowd control you get, and it's awesome. So if you want to try it out, I recommend you try out Spellsinger today. Like, don't wait. Go make a character right now and do it. Don't play half-orc, though. It's really dumb. But I love the fact that my character's named Me Sing Songs. Bard, 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 Bard. Great. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And also, if you're like, man, I wish I could see this, I would have loved to participate in this vote and maybe, steer the direction of the vote away from Half-Orc Bard on the Twitch stream, which then you have to check out twitch.tv/Strimtom, link just below. That way you can check it out and join us, where we stream pretty much every single day and go through some of these character builds and build some goofy, wacky stuff. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go make breakfast. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Oop, I tapped the microphone. Oopsie.